Hello, and a very warm welcome to my little cottage garden in Cambridgeshire in the UK. It's been almost a month now since I last made a video. I was away for most of July, and since I got back, I've been gradually easing back into my usual garden routine. The garden did better than I expected while I was away. I think because it rained a few times in July. The rain and the warmth together have turned the garden into a bit of a jungle. Since I got back, I've been wandering around the garden observing what has changed and enjoying the abundance of plants and invertebrates. There are so many bees and butterflies and spiders and beetles and dragonflies in the garden. One of my goals is to create a wildlife friendly garden, so it makes me really happy to see all these creatures enjoying the space with me. We're in the second half of summer now, and I'm really pleased with how much color there still is in the garden. The clematis is still going in its second flush now. I have little clumps of crocosmia adding splashes of color in the borders. And I really love the hot pink and orange of the echinacea, which I rescued from the slugs earlier in the year. It's popular with the insects too. The pink honeysuckle is blooming now. This is its third year in the ground. The first year I got no flowers at all. The second year I think I got one flower. And this year I've got 4 or 5. So maybe next year is the year it'll be completely covered in blooms. And I have my first dahlia in this rich dark burgundy color that I really love. And there are more on the way. The cosmos has been a real star performer this year, and this is one annual that I think I'll definitely plant again. It's been really easy to care for, and as long as I keep snipping off the spent flowers, it keeps putting out new blooms. The sweet peas have done well, but because I was away and no one was picking the flowers, the seed pods started to develop and the foliage is starting to dry up now. My neighbor, who has recently taken an interest in gardening, asked me a few days ago if the sweet pea pods were edible. And I suppose it's a fair question, as the pods of sweet peas and regular peas do look alike. I know that most people watching already know this, but I thought it was worth emphasizing that sweet pea pods are toxic and should never be eaten. The same neighbor asked me if wisteria pods were edible. My answer was a resounding no. There was a lot of windfall from the apple tree when I got back, so I got out the ladder and harvested a box of apples. gave some of the apples away, kept some to eat, and chopped some up and put them in the freezer. I'll use these for smoothies and pies later in the year. There are still lots of apples on the tree that I can harvest through August and September. Runner beans are producing loads of pods now, so every few days I harvest a handful of these. I typically eat the little ones and the bigger ones get backed up and go in the freezer. From September I'll start to let them develop fully on the vine so that I can dry them and harvest the beans. I'm still picking blueberries. I bought 2 blueberry plants back in March and I've been really pleased with how they've done so far. This variety is called Blue Crop and it's been producing ripe fruit since the end of June. And this other variety is called Pink Lemonade. And these ones are just beginning to ripen, so I'm looking forward to harvesting those in a few days or weeks. My tomatoes are ripening quickly now. I'm picking a handful every few days. I grow cherry tomato varieties because I like to have these in salad or just to eat as a snack. I've cut off the growing tips now so they can put their energy into ripening the existing fruit. I've also started picking the peppers. I was hoping they would turn red, but that doesn't seem to be happening, so I've just decided to eat them green. They pair really well with the tomatoes, chopped up in an omelette or in sauces, or just eaten raw in salads. I find it really satisfying to be able to go out into the garden each day and pick fruit that I have grown myself. I decided to cut my losses with these potatoes that I planted in buckets. They've done really poorly compared to the ones planted in the ground, and it seems like a waste of time to keep watering them at this point. When I pulled up the foliage, it looked like there were no potatoes, but there turned out to be a few small and medium-sized ones. Nothing to get excited about, but it was better than not getting any at all. Looking at the consistency of this compost, I can see why the potatoes struggled. I don't remember now whether this was my homemade compost or whether it was compost that I bought, but it's really dry. And this is in spite of having been watered just a day or two before. And at the bottom of the bucket, the compost was caked solid, and it looked like it contained very little organic matter. So probably not an ideal medium for the potatoes to develop. The second bucket was similar. There were just a few small and medium-sized potatoes. On to the third bucket now. I paused at this point because there was a buzzing sound coming from the soil in the bucket. I wasn't sure what it was, so I fetched some tools to take a closer look. It turned out to be what I think is a buff-tailed bumblebee. I'm not sure if she was just taking a rest or if she was trying to nest in the soil. But I tried to move her and she settled herself on the edge of the bucket. So I left her there and carried on with my harvest. And eventually she flew off. And it just got me thinking about how easy it is for us to disturb the wildlife without even thinking about it. So this was what I ended up with at the end of my harvest. Probably less than 2 pounds worth of potatoes if I were to buy them in the supermarket. So clearly not worth it from a commercial point of view, but I can't put a price tag on the fulfillment I get from eating food that I have grown myself. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, do please hit the like button or leave a comment. And I hope to see you again, same time next Sunday.